of deliberately deceiving and hoodwinking people online. They are all over the place. All right. We have a cybersecurity expert. Her name is Emanuela Ethelbert. She's a tech law and cybersecurity expert joining us on Zoom this morning. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Emanuela, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning. Can I be
Thank you for
heard?
joining us. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much. So just make this a little bit quickly as we can. What are the cybersecurity or cyber problems? Excuse me. What are the basic cybersecurity issues that Nigeria faces?
I would say phishing. Phishing is like the top among the top 10 cybersecurity issues in the world. So basically, phishing is like one of the things that gets Nigerians because these people that do these things are very sophisticated. So they can fabricate emails that are made to look like emails that are legitimate from your companies you've been using, from your banks, send you these emails, have you click a link, and then direct you to a place where they can harvest your credentials, basically, and therefore use it against you. I think online scams would take the second ranking because we get to see ads. There are cyber criminals that kind of fabricate accounts, and send messages to individuals, create ads that are looking very attractive and catchy, and then get people to click on them thinking they would get freebies, only to harvest their credentials and then use it to hack them or use it to steal from them. We have identity theft, we have social engineering, ransomware, all of those come later on. But I would say for the top uh, cybersecurity issues we face in the country at the moment, I would say phishing and yeah, online scams. And a lot of people fall for it because these things tend to look very legitimate, try to mimic actually legitimate companies or maybe your banks, for example, to ask you for your details. And, banks keep saying they would never ask you for that, but some people still tend to fall for things like that. And yeah, that is like one of the major issues that we keep facing up until date. Maybe, yeah.
All right. So, what forms do you think online scam take these days? Because again, we've seen this thing evolve over the years, but in recent times, what form do you think online scams take, and how can you identify a scam that is looking so good?
So I would say the truth is online scams can take a lot of forms. With the invention of AI these days, there's a lot of you can make almost anything look real. That's the truth. You can make almost anything you want as well look real. I can create a website and then just direct traffic, make it look very attractive. Oh, I'm giving away maybe an iPhone, for example, and all you just have to do is to fill your details and vet you and send it to you. And people fall for that, enter their details and whatnot. So I would say maybe like the easiest way, I would just say we have to be vigilant because the truth is no matter how careful you want to be, you can never be too careful. So I would use an example. Maybe uh, we get a lot of emails these days. So a lot of people actually do use their emails. So for example, maybe you're used to using Amazon, for example, to shop for things and, or maybe you work for Amazon or something like that. And then you used to receiving emails from Amazon.com. And then one day you receive an email from Amazon.com dot maybe xyz dot us, and people don't exactly check their email headers, and then the next thing you just see, oh, a message from your boss, something like that, you should do this, you should click this link and send something, and then you just send it because I mean it is Amazon, right? You receive emails from Amazon every day. But the truth is that slight change in the email header or the email address can do a lot, can literally harm your system and harm your enterprise as a whole. You then upload things that you shouldn't be uploading to a different website that sort of looks like where you want to be. So I think one major issue is, first of all, not to check suspicious links. I know that a lot of things, a lot of people tend to click links just because of maybe they're trying to get something for free. But then not everything that is put out there that is free is actually free. So I feel like one major way to identify like a scam website is that they usually have a lot of ads. So as much as they try to build a perfect website, they cannot avoid a lot of ads, maybe telling you to try and bet or try and get a freebie or something like that. Those are like the first identifying factors. And then to always constantly check the email header that sends you an email. So be conscious of places or maybe that you enter your email addresses or email address that you usually use. That would save you from a lot of stress, because if you don't identify the proper email that sends you a message and just upload anything, it could do a lot to your system. You could even fall victim of a ransomware. Ransomware is like one of the dangerous cybersecurity issues, because if you fall victim of a ransomware, you could get locked down. Your entire system will get locked down until you pay a certain amount of money to release it, and that is pretty scary for a lot of businesses and organizations these days. So I'll just don't overshare things. Make sure that you're always checking the emails you receive things from. Don't just go about giving information to people that just call you and claim to be somewhere. Try to verify at least from institutions.
Right. How vulnerable would you say that Nigerian businesses and governments in some way have with this cyber attack thing? Because again, we've seen severally some government organizations losing their websites. How vulnerable are we? Individuals, businesses, governments, how vulnerable are we to cyber attacks?
I would not want to scare anyone by saying this, but I would say Nigerian businesses as a whole seems very vulnerable to cyber attacks. We are more vulnerable than we think. As the day goes by, cybersecurity attacks get more sophisticated. That is the truth. I mean, the more we get digitally inclined, and then that's the more sophisticated the cyber criminals get. They are looking for new ways every day to get people. So I would say we are very, very vulnerable to cyber attacks, because a lot of websites get shut down these days, and then Nigerian businesses and even government-owned institutions are usually more focused on the building aspect, like focused on building something that is so, that is so out there, so sophisticated and everything, and then they forget or they pay lesser attention to the cybersecurity aspect of it, which is very important, because you cannot build something that is so perfect and so out there, and then your security will be left lagging behind. So I would say we are actually very vulnerable unless we begin to take cybersecurity as serious as it is.
All right. For you, how do you keep up, given the emerging technologies? We understand that even the environment that we play in, there are tools you could use to even protect yourself. What sort of tools do you think are available for businesses to protect themselves, or individuals to protect themselves from these cyber attacks?
So basically, in my line of work, I currently have a role as an incident response analyst and an ethical hacker. So I would, it's not exactly very easy for the maybe random person out there to understand the technical tools. But then again, there are some certain things that we could do to kind of stay safe online to a reasonable extent, because like someone would always say, yeah, we're never actually 100% safe from cyber criminals, because they would always evolve. So one thing I would definitely advise is the regular use of antivirus systems. So antivirus is something that a lot of people have heard, but people don't really pay a lot of attention to it. Antivirus is one of the things that would usually keep us safer than we think we are. A lot of laptops, Windows laptops, and even iOS come with it. But then it is advisable to go the extra mile to have an antivirus system on your phones, to have an antivirus system on your laptops. So there are very good antivirus systems out there. I think like Avast AVG, that's like something that's very popular, that you have it, and then it gives you security alerts when something doesn't seem right on your system, or something doesn't seem right on your phones. Passwords. So there's this saying in cybersecurity field that if you can remember your passwords, then you're not safe. So let me break that down. It's not saying that you should not be able to know your password. It's just saying if you know the exact, passwords that you have, like passwords to your systems, or you're using the same passwords across several sites or several websites that you use, then you're not safe. So one thing I would really advise is the employing password managers. That is something that works very well because password managers get to suggest passwords that are really very strong for you and then keep it safe so that you don't have to remember them every time that you want to enter them, and then you don't get to use the same passwords across several accounts that you may have. That is one very important thing that a lot of us neglect. So I really advise the use of password managers and two-factor authentication. So a lot of our social media handles, or people that use social media, has two-factor authentication. Whereby you use PIN and then you use your fingerprint or you use your face scanner or something. And some people are just like, it's not supposed to be that serious. It's that serious. Like these days, I think WhatsApp hacking has been on the rise. A lot of people have lost access to their WhatsApp. Just maybe somebody called them or sent them a code and then they sent it back and they get locked out. It happens on Instagram too. So I think these are like the top three things that every person can actually do to keep themselves safe. Use password manager so that you don't have to remember your passwords every time, and then you have secure passwords. Have antivirus systems on your devices, all of your devices, if possible. They will help you scan and track if something is going wrong. And yeah, two-factor authentication. That is what I would tell, someone who is not technically inclined. For us who are more technically inclined, we kind of go the extra mile, right? We go the extra mile to have a lot of more technical backdrop to kind of keep ourselves safe and keep our clients safe. So when you feel like things are out of your hands and you can no longer handle, you feel like something is wrong that you did not know about, your first point of action should just be to disconnect your device from the internet. Disconnect it from any internet it's connected to, and then maybe get across to a cybersecurity specialist that could help you detect exactly what is going on. But these are like few tips that I feel like everybody should know and take advantage.
What do you see as the biggest challenge in cybersecurity in the next 5 to 10 years for Nigeria?
So Nigeria is at the moment, I would not say we're not there yet. Like, if we're being very honest, we're not there yet when it comes to cybersecurity because, like I said, we focus more on building and trying to make money from our, businesses or digital platforms than focus on cybersecurity aspect. So one major thing I know that in the next 5 to 10 years we might still be suffering from is increased cyber attacks because, like I said, cyber attacks are getting a lot more sophisticated with the invention of AI. We have blockchain security, cryptocurrency and whatnot. These are infrastructures that are very difficult to detect. AI, first of all, AI, you might think that, oh, you are able to detect AI when you see it, but there are some really sophisticated AI models out there that people are using to perpetrate crimes all over the world. So I feel like if we do not, step up when it comes to cybersecurity sector, we are going to see increased cyber crimes to the point that it's going to be destroying businesses here and there, because apart from what everybody sees online, there's a lot of things that goes on in the background. There's a lot of things that security analysts have to face on a daily basis, and sometimes people don't even know that they are being compromised, their systems are compromised, or their information is leaking or something. And then you start getting, legal suits because your information has been leaking or something like that. So I just feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, if we're not more proactive to how we see cybersecurity than reactive, then we would see a lot of increased cyber crimes that would tend to destroy a lot of businesses and livelihoods in the long run.
Right. Again, another key issue is whether our law enforcement agents are actually even well equipped or even know what cybersecurity is so as to be able to mitigate against it. The best we have heard recently, would be EFCC going against Yahoo Boys, and those who press, as they call it. But beyond that, you rarely hear and see that our security agencies, specifically the police, have gotten to a place to apprehend people who engage in cyber frauds. Do you think our security agencies, our law enforcement agencies, are equipped to detect cyber criminal or cyber crime?
Well, so I would start this from talking about so when I was, my undergraduate long essay, that was the focus of my research, analyzing the legal and institutional stages for legal and institutional institutions for combating cybercrime in Nigeria. So through that research, which occurred sometime last year, we were able to see that at the moment we would not say our law enforcement agencies are quite equipped. So maybe they might be equipped to like physical arms and then going to track these people that, as you said, Yahoo boys. So Yahoo boys, they are at most or at best maybe script kiddies or people that just have learned some stuff on the internet and then using it to get across people. They usually go by social engineering, getting people to believe them and then extorting them and all of that. But beyond that, there are advanced hackers on the internet, advanced hackers that could probably even be your next door neighbor, people that are watching you on the internet or watching what you post or just, looking on the internet to see who they can exploit or how they can exploit it next. So I don't exactly, I wouldn't say our law enforcement agencies are very equipped to handle cybercrime, especially technically. So we have not gotten to the stage where we could track cybercrime, as it is occurring or capture digital footprints and whatnot. Right now, at best, I think we still have, oh, okay, you heard that there are Yahoo boys in there and then they are going after them and stuff like that, which I mean, I would applaud their efforts, but I just feel like there needs to be more in the cybersecurity factor. I think right now the only legislation that really stands strong against cybercrime would be the Cybercrime Act of 2015. But then Cybercrime Act of 2015 is not exhaustive. So as much as it contains some certain cyber crimes, there are a lot more. And as days go by, months go by, years go by, cybercrime is becoming a lot more advanced than what we have in our laws. So I feel like of any other legislation, Cybercrime Act should be something that should constantly be updated, right? And more stringent punishments should be meted out to the cyber criminals because they are not remorseful. Like you may find out where this one is today, but then all over the world is probably linked to other cyber criminals that are doing the same thing or even worse. So I would say we're not exactly equipped technically to handle cyber criminals from now moving forward into the future. But then if more attention can be paid to cybersecurity industry, then I feel like we would be able to get there in the long run. It's still a long shot and a work in progress, but if you pay more
How do cyber criminals target people? Like, how do they know who to target? Do they just wake up one morning and then, if it is the fishing style, they just throwing their net in there and then hope that it comes back with a fish? Or they just take up one certain email and throw it to several persons, and then they do some of these things, and whatever one that replies, then they start off with them. How do they target people? How do they know this person may have monies that they will be able to, steal from? In just a minute, please.